our warm-up, okay? Number one, we have 2x squared plus 30x plus 88. Guys, first step in factoring, GCF. Someone said it's 2. Good. I agree. Oh no, where'd it go? Okay. Take the 2 out. And that means we're dividing everything by 2. Right? Alright, so when I divide it, I get x squared plus 15x plus 44. Now I can do my AF, right? AM. Since I have 3 terms, I have to make a T-chart. Yeah? Okay. So let's do that. Let's make a T-chart. Alright. So my T-chart, I need 2 numbers that multiply to give me 44 and adds to give me 15. What are they? 4 and 11. Right? We get those 2 numbers by putting into the calculator y equals 44 divided by x, right?
Yeah.
So since this is just a plain old x squared, I can go straight into my double parentheses. I can put x, what for? Plus 4, and x, what? Plus 11. Was there a GCF all the way in the beginning? Yeah. 2, bring that guy down. And there you go, we factored. Okay? Factor the trinomial. Alright, let's look at number 2. 3x squared minus 48. I have 2 terms. And I have an x squared and I have a minus. I'm thinking to myself, hey, maybe this is a dose.
Yeah.
But, oh, just like this, look at that. Square root of 3, does that give me a nice pretty number? No. Remember, first step in factoring is to find the GCF. What is the GCF, or also known as in your calculator, GCD?
It's 3.
Yeah, 3 and 48 is 3. Okay, so then that means I gotta take the 3 out of there. So we divide. Guys, do I take out an x? No, why?
It doesn't have, not everything has an X.
Good, this one doesn't have an x. Everybody has to have an x if you're gonna take that out. Then you have x squared minus, what's
6.
48 divided by 3?
16.
16. Oh, so now inside the parentheses, do I have a dose now? Yeah. So I have double parentheses, opposite signs. I know I have a dose because this is x squared. This is subtract. Is 16 a perfect square? What's the square root of 16? 4. Since that's in the second one, I'm going to put the 4s in the second, right? What's the square root of x squared? X. So I have x plus 4 times x minus 4. Was there a GCF in the beginning?
Yeah, 3.
Yes. So bring that guy down. Okay? Questions? Alright. So let's talk about solving by factoring. So in order to solve by factoring, okay, you have to have an equal sign. If you see an equal sign, we're solving. If you don't see an equal sign, you're just factoring. Does that make sense? Okay, so solving by factoring. Here's our example. X squared minus 10x plus 21 equals 0. Oh, there's an equal sign, right? First thing you need to do is make sure your equation is equal to 0. Is that one already equal to 0? Yes. Okay, so we'll just copy that one over. X squared minus 10x plus 21 equals 0. Already set equal to 0. Number 2, it says factor the expression. Oh, okay. This is a 1, 2, 3 trinomial. That means it's AM, right? There's no GCF, and I don't have a number in front of that x squared. Do you agree? So let's make our little T chart here. M and A. What's my M number?
It's 21.
Is 21. And what's my A number?
It's 10.
What kind of 10?
Negative.
-10. All right, so guys, I'm going to go to my calculator here. So I'm going to put in 21 divided by x. And then I'm going to go to second graph. Let's look at our table. Remember, no decimals, no error. Just look at the plain old numbers, the whole numbers, right? Integers here. And see which ones add up to give you, was it -10? Yeah, which two numbers, or which two numbers? Good. -3 and -7. -3 and -7 gives me -10. Yeah? Okay, so since this was just a plain old x squared, I could go straight to my shortcut, right? Double parentheses, x what?
X minus 3.
-3. And x what?
Minus 7.
-7 equals 0. Yeah? So it's still the same stuff that we did for, I don't know, the past 2 weeks, factoring. Except now, since we have to solve it, guys, you're going to make every single piece of this equal to 0. Now, I like to call this, next step, my mini equations. Okay? So that means every single piece, that x minus 3 factor, what's happening to this pen? I'm sorry, let me do this. X minus 3, that gets set equal to 0. Yeah? And then this piece over here, x minus 7, well, that gets set equal to 0. So then let's solve for these x's. That's what step 4 is. Okay, so I need to add the 3. X equals 3. And then on the other side, add the 7. X equals 7. Do you agree? Okay. So then after you solve them, you can be a little bit fancy here. We're going to put our solutions into these solution sets, into these curly braces. So we'll say x equals 3, 7. You don't have to, because I'm not going to mark it wrong if you don't put it in the solution set. But on the SOLs, you will see the solution set. So I want you to know what it looks like, okay? Now, the number of solutions, right, that you should have, it should be the same as your highest exponent, your biggest exponent. And your highest exponent has a name. It's called the degree. Okay? So the number of solutions that you guys should have at the end, the number of x equals, it should match, I'll go back, sorry. It should match your biggest exponent there, which is 2, right? Did we get two answers? Sorry. There we go. Two answers, so it matches. Okay? Let's go to number 1. Alright, so we have 12x squared minus 5x equals 0. Okay, so I'm looking at this and I go, wait a minute, 2 terms. I have an x squared, I have a minus. Maybe this is a dose. Do I have a GCF? 12 and 5. If I did the GCD of 12 comma 5, what do I get? You get 1. All right, so there's no number GCF.
1x.
Good. They both have an x, right? That one's x squared and that one's x. Since they both have an x, a smaller x comes out, so the x comes out, right? You could say 1x or you could just say x, same thing, right? So I'm going to divide that out of everybody. 12x minus 5. Good. And don't forget, all of that equals 0. Now, I can't factor this inside the parentheses anymore. 12x minus 5, that's done. So, mini equations. Everybody gets set equal to 0. So this guy out here, x, that equals 0. And then this guy here, 12x minus 5, that equals 0. Right? This one, do I need to solve anything? X equals 0? No, that's already done for me. Great. Let's look at 12x minus 5. What should I do first?
Add 5.
Add the 5. Good. X equals 5. Now what?
Divide 12.
Good. Divide by 12. Oh, an ugly fraction, huh? But that's okay. And I like fractions. Don't turn them into decimals, please. There we go. I have 2 solutions. Is that how many I should have?
Yeah.
Yes. Can we be fancy and put them into a solution set? Yeah. Typically, we like to put the smaller number first. Just really not good here. But if you guys don't put it in that order, it's fine. I'm not going to mark it wrong, okay? Questions? All right. Let's try the next one. 4x squared minus 25 equals 0. All right, it's already equal to 0, so I'm going to start factoring. I see an x squared, I see a minus, and I see 2 terms. Maybe this one is dose, right? But I have numbers, so I need to check for my GCF first. So if I go to GCD 4 comma 25, what do I get? Huh? Nothing? 1. 1. So GCD is 1. Well, then now let's ask ourselves, do I have a dose? Okay? What is the square root of 4? 2. Okay, so that comes out to be a nice pretty 2. What is the square root of x squared?
X.
X. And what's the square root of 25? Oh my goodness, so they're all perfect squares. And there's a minus. And there's 2 terms. Well, then this is definitely a dose. Change that question mark to an exclamation. So dose, remember, is double parentheses, opposite signs, and then we square rooted everything, right? What goes in that first spot?
X is 2. 2x.
2x. right?
Yeah.
And what goes in the second spot? The 5, good. And don't forget, guys, this problem has an equal sign, right? It's equal to what?
0.
0. That means mini equations. Everybody gets set equal to 0. Okay? So 2x plus 5 equals 0, and 2x minus 5 equals 0. Let's solve. What should I do first? Over here. Subtract the 5. So now I have 2x equals negative 5. Then? Good. And remember, I like fractions. All right, I want you guys to solve the next one, please. So, did you get this? Did you get x equals negative 5 halves and x equals 5 halves? Guys, isn't that the same number, basically? Except they just have opposite signs, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you have this kind of situation, here's a different way that you can write it, and a different way that you will see this. You can put 5 halves, because that's what they both are, right? Good. You have one that's positive, and you have one that's negative. So you could have plus or minus 5 halves. Right? And that's what that means. It just means you have a positive 5 halves, and then you have a negative 5 halves. Okay? Please familiarize yourself with that. All right, questions? Okay then, moving right along. Let's go on to the next one. So good. Flying through this. Look at number 3. What is the issue here? Good. Thank you, Ethan. It does not equal 0. We need to make this equal 0. Let's subtract that 18 out of there. Right? So then on the right-hand side, now I have 0. Can I combine this 18 with anything? X squared, 3x? No. So you know what? X squared plus 3x minus 18. Just rewriting it, right? We're solving by factoring. How do I factor a 3-term expression? A trinomial. What do I do?
Oh, AM?
Yeah. AM. Do I have a number in front of the x squared? No, so this isn't even like a long AM, right? Okay. So let's do that. Make a T-chart. What's my M number?
18.
Oh, what 18?
Negative 18.
Negative 18. And what's my A number?
3.
3. Okay, guys, you do it. Thank you. Let me know what 2 numbers multiply to give me negative 18, but adds to give me 3.
6.
Good. Do we get that? 6 and negative 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. And remember, since this is just a plain old x squared, let's do that shortcut, right? Double parentheses equals 0. Now, x, what, 6? What type of 6?
Negative 6.
Oh,
Oh,
positive 6. Uh-huh. And x, what, 3? Minus. Okay. Sabrina, you okay with that? Sorta? Okay. Guys, can you finish this? Make everything equal to 0, right? Mini equations. And tell me what you get for your 2x's. Alright, so I have x plus 6 equals 0, and I have x minus 3 equals 0. So x equals this, and x equals that. Yeah? Alright, and then why don't we put in our solution set? Negative 6, comma 3. Made it very narrow, didn't I? Alright, let's look at the next one. Is it already equal to 0?
Yeah.
Yes, so we're good. Oh, I have 1, 2, 3 trinomial. Wait a minute. Just by looking at this, I can tell you right now, there's a GCF, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you get 3 answers. Too.
2 and what?
You get 3 answers. Because the x minus 3.
Yup, okay. Wow. Tim was already ahead. He said we should have 3 answers, 3 solutions, because the biggest exponent is 3. You're right, sir. GCF is what? 2x. Good. How do we get 2x? Well, the numbers are 2, 22, and 36.
But they all have x's in them.
And they all have x's in them. And the smallest x is an x. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. Good. So divide everybody by 2x. Now you know that this one's just going to wait, right? Your GCF. All right, so then let's see. What's 2x to the third divided by 2x? Well, the 2's go away. You have 3 x's on the top and 1 on the bottom. How many are left? Square. Now the next one, negative 22x squared divided by 2x.
Negative 11x.
Negative 11x. How about 36x over 2x?
15.
18. Plus 18, right?
Yeah.
And that equals 0. Oh, look at that. Inside the parentheses is just a regular old x squared trinomial, right? So let's try this again. AM. So 2 numbers have multiplied to give me a positive 18, but adds to give me a negative 11. What are they?
Negative 2 and 9.
Negative 2 and negative 9. Right? Because then this only adds to 9, so you don't want that. Negative 2 plus negative 9 gives you negative 11. This is the one that you want. Alright? Alright, so inside the parentheses, I have just a regular old x squared. That means I can do my shortcut. Double parentheses, x, what, 2? Minus 2, right? And then the other one is x, what? Minus the 9. Oh, don't forget to bring down your 2x, your GCF, right? And then all of this is equal to 0. Now, we are done factoring, so now we have to do our mini equations. So every single piece has to be set equal to 0. So now I have 2x equals 0. And then I have the x minus 2 equals 0. Yeah? And then I have x minus 9 equal to 0. This one I need to divide by 2. Guys, what is 0 divided by 2?
0.
0. Yeah. And then over here, I've got to add the 2. X equals 2. And then over here, add the 9. So x equals 9. Yeah? Oh my goodness! Timon, you were right! 3 solutions! And we did it right. So that's how we got the 3 solutions. Now we're going to be fancy and put it in our solution set. Okay? And like I said, if you don't put it in the solution set, I'm not going to mark it wrong. Just make sure you clearly label your answers, okay? How is this? Pretty good? This is a review, basically, of everything that we've done, the factoring, right? The solving part, the mini equations, is the only new piece of it. But you guys know how to solve equations, okay? Let's look at the next one. Oh my goodness, this one. What is happening here? Is it equal to 0? Absolutely not, right? So let's make it equal to 0. This negative x squared.
So you have to move all that stuff over to one side.
Yeah. So I'm going to add x squared. Oh, and over here I have an x squared, so I'm going to put it right underneath that one. Because I can combine those two together, right? So that one goes away. What about that minus 2x? How do I move that over?
That is a total of negative 4x.
Yeah. Add the 2x, and then we'll just add 2x over here. Right? Look at that. We can just do that all in one step. Bam. Done. Equal to 0. Now, what is 2x squared plus 1x squared? What is 2 plus 1?
3.
3. That's how many x squares you have now. 3 x squares. Remember, when you're adding or subtracting, the exponents do not change. How about negative 12x plus 2x?
Negative 10x.
Yeah. So minus 10x. And what about that plus 8? Did that get combined with anything? No, so just bring that down. Alright, so I have a trinomial. So I know this is going to be AM. But here's an issue. I have a 3 in front of that x squared. Can I GCF it out? 3, 10, and 8? No, their GCF is 1, right? So whenever I have a number in front, I'm still doing AM, but I need to multiply it. Swing it over and multiply with the last number, right? That gives me my new M. What is 3 times 8? 24. That's my new M. What's still my A number?
10. Negative 10.
Negative 10. Okay, guys, tell me what two numbers multiply to give me a positive 24 and add to give me a negative 10? Thank you. Sabrina says negative 6 and negative 4. Absolutely. Good. So, whenever you do this method where you like swing it over,
You bring it down to 6 and 4.
good. You gotta bring down the first and bring down the last. So bring down the first in your original. Bring down the last in your original. And then this guy in the middle, this negative 10x, you're going to rewrite that guy using these two numbers. Okay? Yeah, so minus 6x. Don't forget to put the x.
Minus 4.
Minus 4x. Good. Oh, wow. Now I have 4 terms.
Split it in half.
Yeah, good. You guys, so good at factoring. Divide it in half and then GCF factor both sides. So on the left-hand side, 3x squared minus 6x. 3 and 6, what's their GCF?
3.
3. GCF or the GCD, right? On your calculator. Do they both have an x?
3.
Yeah. So the x comes out. That one's a smaller one, right? Divide by 3x. And then you should have x minus 2. Tom, you writing this down? How about on the right-hand side? Guys, what is this starting with on the right-hand side?
Negative. Bring the negative down.
Good. Bring the negative down. And then 4 and 8.
4. For GCD.
Yup, good. So divide everybody by -4. X what? -2. Because of +8 divided by -4.
It matches.
It matches. Good. It should.
Yeah.
It better match. That's how you know that you did it right. And then you can go into your double parentheses. The matching ones go in one of them.
Yeah. And then the GCD's going on there.
Good. And then these guys go in the other one. And all of this is equal to 0. So Abner, now I have factors that are equal to 0. What should I do? Good. Do your mini equations. Everybody has to get set equal to 0. So you should have x equals 2 and x equals 4/3. And then in my set, my solution set, you know, technically it does, like you'll put the smaller number first, but am I gonna mark you wrong? Okay. It's freezing. Hope you guys didn't plant any, you know, vegetables or herbs or whatever, cover them up last night. All right, questions about this one? This one's a longer trinomial way, right? Okay, let's try this one. I have 5x squared plus 13x equals 6, but it should equal what? 0. So how do I make it equal 0?
Bring it over.
All right, bring that 6 over. Minus the 6. Good. Ethan said now then is 5x squared plus 13x minus 6. That equals 0. Yeah?
Mm-hmm. You just swing it over, I think.
Good. This is AM, but Tim said we need to swing it over. Why?
It has a number.
Good. It has that number in front, right? Perfect, guys. You do it. Make the T-chart, find the numbers, so -30 and adds to 13. Find the numbers. I'm going to set up my bring down the first, bring down the last. All right, you guys.
How much -13 and
I put
Huh?
I got -2.
Yeah, you should have -2 and 15. Let me see. Yeah? Okay. So when we have 1, 2, 3, 4, we're going to divide it in half. Find the GCF of the left-hand side. If your order is different from mine, that's okay. All right, as long as your parentheses match. Yeah? On the right-hand side, it's starting with a what?
Negative, bring it down.
Negative. So you got to bring that down, and I'm sure the GCF is -2. Yes? My parentheses match. So x plus 3, and then I have 5x minus 2. That equals 0. So if all of that equals 0, you need to make everything equal to 0, right? Mini equations. And then when you solve this, have x equals negative 3 and x equals 2/5. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, good. You know, to be honest with you, I think this type of problem would be the hardest, no, maybe not the hardest, the more involved type of problem you would get. Okay? I just think it has a lot of steps, right? All right, let's look at the next one. Okay, so this one is interesting. You know what? I don't like the way it's written. Why?
It's backwards.
It's backwards. Yes. It's not in standard form. I don't like that. So let's turn it back to standard form. So this x squared, I'm going to circle it because I want you guys to see the sign on this x squared, right? It's a negative. So we have negative x squared. And then my next one is a positive x, right? Plus x. And then the next one is what type of 30?
Positive.
Good. And all of that is equal to 0. Is there a GCF?
No.
Ah!
1.
What is it starting with?
Negative.
Negative. You do have a GCF because it's that negative 1. Remember, we don't like having a negative in the front. Gotta take that negative out. So let's divide everybody by negative 1. We have x squared minus x minus 30. Remember, this GCF is going to weight and I have an AM, but this is way easier than the one that we did before, didn't we?
So you do those?
No. It's still AM. It's still T-chart, right? But it's that shortcut T-chart. So two numbers that multiply to give me what?
30. Negative 30.
Negative 30. And adds to give me what?
1. Negative 1.
Negative 1. All right, so for your two numbers, you should have negative 6 and 5. All right. Guys, isn't this just a plain old x squared? Yeah, so I can go straight into my double parentheses, right? The shortcut way. X minus 6 and x plus 5. Don't forget to bring down your GCF. What's your GCF? Negative 1. Now, everybody needs to be set equal to 0. So negative 1 equal to 0.
That doesn't make any sense.
Okay, we're going to get there. X minus 6 equals 0. And x plus 5 equal to 0. Good, you're right. I'm writing out everybody equal to 0, right? Because that's what we do. However, look at this first guy. Negative 1, is that equal to 0? No. Is there even an x here that you can solve? No. So you know what? This is useless to me. Throw it out. We don't need it.
Now there's only 2.
Yeah, but what is your biggest exponent? 2. So you should only have 2 solutions. X equals 6 here, and x equals what? Huh?
Negative
-5 over here. Good. There you go. We have our two solutions. Okay? Questions? All right. So we have one more. Wow. Is this one equal to 0?
Absolutely not.
No. So we're going to have to clean this up. Let's make it equal to 0. All right. So we want to leave our biggest exponent x term, this x to the third. If it's positive, just leave it alone. Don't move that guy. Okay? Move these on the right. Let's take that 4x and let's subtract it over. Is there something I can combine with the 4x or -4x? No. So you know what? We'll just write it over here. Okay? Because you got to look for like terms, right? So then that goes away. How about that +8? What do I need to do to move it over? Subtract it. But Kevin's shaking his head. It's like, nope, there's nothing to combine it with. That's okay, right? Our goal is to make it equal to 0. We did that. Let's write everything out then. X to the third plus 2x squared minus 4x minus 8. Right? Is there a GCF for the whole thing? No. No GCF number, and you can't take out an x. Not everyone has an x, right?
Yeah.
But how many terms do you have? 4. How do you factor when you have 4?
Split it.
Yeah. Split it in half, divide it, right down the middle. GCF, the left-hand side, and GCF, the right-hand side. I want you guys to try that. Okay, so on the left-hand side, your GCF should have been x squared. Did we get that? Okay. Divide everyone by x squared, and you get x plus 2. Do you agree? All right, so on the right-hand side, did you get -4? Good. -4 is your GCF there. Divide everybody by -4. X plus 2. My parentheses match, so I know I did this right. Double parentheses. X plus 2, x squared minus 4, right? Because it's these outside ones. And that equals 0. Hold on. Am I done factoring here? No. What do I have to do? Dose. This one, x squared minus 4, that has a dose. Or that is a dose, right? It's a difference of squares. What is the square root of x squared?
X.
What is the square root of 4?
2i.
No. Right? So double parentheses, opposite signs, x plus 2, x minus 2. Don't forget to bring down that x plus 2 that you already had. Right? Make all of this equal to 0. Now what?
Now make x plus 2 squared and x minus 2.
Not squared.
You don't put them both in this.
No, because you just pull them all apart. If you put them back together, you're just moving back up again. Right? Now you're just going to do mini equations. This guy, x plus 2 equals 0. That guy, x plus 2 equals 0. And this one, x minus 2 equals 0. Right? Everybody gets their own little mini equation. So if I solve for these x's,
You get 2 -2's and 2.
x equals -2, x equals -2, x equals 2. How many solutions do I have?
3.
3. Should I have 3?
Yeah.
Okay. Aren't these two the same?
Yes.
So when you go and write them in your solution set, you only have to write that one time. Okay? You can write it twice. It's not going to be wrong. You only have to write it one time. Here's the thing, though. If you write it only one time, please make sure that you write this. This -2, that's something called a double root. Double because there are 2 of them. And it's a root because, remember, that's one of the names for the solution. Solution, root, zeros, and x-intercepts. Right? Double root. Okay? All right, so any questions about this? Next class, you're going to have a mini quiz on the complex numbers and on this stuff. Okay? Let me give you your homework.